Looking forward with Ryan Hughes.
Ryan Hughes.
It's up to Ryno to answer this challenge.
Your leader, Ryan Hughes, 105. Hughes on the inside. Hughes on the inside, though, trying to get a run at
Ryan
it.
Hughes has got a problem with the bike. He's trying to push it to the line.
Looking ahead, not backwards, not sideways, just
straight ahead. Straight ahead.
Well, maybe if there's a hot chick over there, kind of my eyes turn a little bit.
Wait a second. You're on the starting line. Do hot chicks now? Here's a very honest question.
Yep.
You're on the line.
Yep.
Your brand new 2025 Honda.
Yep.
And the hot monster girl comes out with the painted on pants. Does that
you have to have your question. No.
Does that disturb your whole shot?
No. Doesn't disturb your whole shot, of course not. But you do look at it and go, But once she's gone, then bam. You know what I mean? It's just like,
You don't ever wonder about after the race, like, where's the hot monster girl? Because you're going to see her on the podium.
I would say, I've probably got a couple things lined up before the race.
Okay.
Just like hanging around or da-da-da. Hey,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But again, once you're a professional, once you've done it so long, you can just switch roles, bam.
Okay.
I've had people in my ear talking things like this and that, things I didn't need to hear, and then it was just like, bam.
Okay.
It's like you learn how to not be a chameleon, but you learn how to play your roles.
Yeah.
Like you can see all the top guys are kind of playful and this and that, but when it's time, bam. But then when they come off the track, they're almost in this daze.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're in this daze of concentration, focus. Like they've been like this. It almost takes us a little bit to come out of it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, right? Okay. So yeah, we're guys. I think it's instinctually just to be like eyes to go.
Hot monster girl.
Yeah.
So last week we got a little bit into politics, and I wanted to delve into something here because we are dealing with kind of a thinning out economically, I would say, in our sport.
Yeah.
So where are you, like, if I were to get into the mind of Ryan Hughes right now, and I'd say the 2025 season, where is your head at? Because we've talked about the fact that are we going to be burning out everybody on the sport because it's literally become a year-round thing?
Yeah.
And is 2025 going to be a hard economic year? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's that much excitement for Anaheim right now as there used to be. Like everybody's kind of just like, hey, it's coming and it's coming. Because we just got done with it, and also in Europe and all that. So it's not like there's so much to wait for. And so that's the thing is I don't know if there's so much excitement for A1 right now, from the general public or from the sport. The thinning out, I think you'll see maybe more companies having a little bit of issues, right?
Okay.
I would think you'd see maybe less fans in the stands just because not being able to afford the tickets. Could be wrong. It is almost only one event a year and their hometown or close to their hometown or whatever. So save some money up. But those are the only things that I could really see happening, is that. And then I think you're really going to see probably if there's anything happening in 25 kind of unfold in 26. Like, shit, that team folded. Oh, wow. Our sales were down or this or that, or there wasn't as many riders on the line for Loretta's and these different things, right?
Okay.
So that's the only thing I can think of because, again, everything's like, what I talked about before. Everything's going up, but nobody's making more money, right? And, again, I'm just trying to voice then and make some people talk and make people realize that there's not much in this sport for us. Yes, it's the most exciting, rewarding, personal sport that you could ever experience.
Yeah.
But getting something out of it after you put your life into it and after mom and dad have put their whole life savings into it, well, there we go. And also when you're done, there's nothing, man. There's nothing. We're just done. And I've talked to many people, and I've talked to some really top guys lately because I'm working kind of on this project, and they're all saying the same thing, man. I feel lonely. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I still have my issues. And then they bring up other people that have big names that they say, hey, that guy has some struggles,
Yeah.
And so that's where a lot of us are at. But there's nothing for us to kind of lean into, talk to, guide us, help us, show us. And that's all I'm trying to do is just trying to get people to realize that, hey, let's give something back to the sport through the manufacturers, through the promoters, and also through the community to build stuff, to make stuff, to have stuff for people to have a easier transition or to leave the sport with something, or to feel like they're taken care of. That's it. Everybody make the money you want to make. I don't give a shit. Hey, rule the roost as much as you want, whatever you want. But, man, just give back a little bit.
So this brings me to the next question I would have on that, which is your whole program for riders after riding. Where is that going, and how is that? How's that gonna progress?
we're we have things built, we have things in place. I've talked to a few riders that are 100% into it, that want to be on the board or have their say or be able to use their name and stuff like that. It's just a tinkering thing. It's finding investments, this and this, but the base is built. We just have to kind of just make that base mature a little bit, put some wings on it a little bit, maybe put a snack room in it, put a little sunroom in it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just you gotta make it grow that way. And it's not something that just happens overnight if you want to do it right. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's still in the works. It's still in the works, and it's growing, as much as we can, weekly. Just sometimes, just with life, you get a little bit busy here, a little bit busy there, then you got to come back to it and then pick it back up. So, but that, that's kind of my road, is to try to bring something into the sport to help people exiting, even like the kids I was talking about that put 12 years into it, made it to the pro class, but couldn't make it past the pro class, so to speak. Like, just, I'm here, hello, I can feel the gate, but I'm not doing anything, not getting anything. And now the parents can't fund anymore. They're like, dude, we're done.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, what about those kids? Is there something for those kids to be able, like, hey, now little Johnny, here's some avenues to be able to become a firefighter, a paramedic, a welder, a electrician, a pilot, a better businessman, a sales. Just how do we educate you after you've just put your life into the sport? How can the sport help you transition into life after the sport made money off you?
It really bums me out that the sanctioning bodies of Supercross, and I can't really speak for them, but what I know about them, haven't really jumped on this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody's ever really brought it up. I don't think anybody's really thought about it much. Is the ending, and is it their job? No, it's not their job.
No.
Is it really their responsibility? No. But if you give two shits, you kind of would say, hey, you know what I mean? We're going off you. We're trusting you to give us the safest tracks, the best events, the blah 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 blah, making sure the tracks are always better, safer. We're trusting you.
Yeah.
So, and then we're giving our life to you, meaning that we're putting everything on the track. Right?
Yep.
Well, that's it. It's just a little bit back, a little organization, a little foundation, something.
I was going to say, it goes into something you said before, though, in previous shows, where you talk about the sanctioning bodies, and not pointing any one finger at any one group of people, just saying there's a level of take,
Yeah.
and the riders are the ones getting sucked dry.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily as an organization.
They're making more money as it goes.
Yeah.
Every year they're making kind of more money because they raise their prices when shit goes down, or they find another way to stick it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, now you got to pay for this. Oh, here, we could have made money there. Okay, so let's put this tax on them. Okay, let's put this on them. It's just like, it's like they just, anywhere that they can make a little bit more money, they're going to do that because they know these people have to pay. And when people are done, they'll be done. But there's new groups coming in that don't know.
Yep.
New people come in that haven't, to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. And so that's just where I'm at. And I don't mean to piss anybody off. I don't mean to have anybody take offense to it. But just, hey, I'm sorry that I spent 40 years in this sport and I give a shit. Sorry that I care. And people can look at me any way you want, but I'm sorry that I care.
You shouldn't be sorry to care. I mean,
well, just from all the people that want to talk shit, and then all the anybody that has a company that I mentioned, or just by just mentioning names, not single point them, but that they want to, take offense to it, is like, hey, look, I'm sorry, I care. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I look at it from the perspective of what you've always said, and I 100% agree with you that it's the riders who are getting taken advantage of in a lot of situations because they're not compensated greatly. The money, all the purse money is going to go to the pretty much top 10 in the rotation. And once you're outside of even the top 5, the purse money is not that great.
And if you go overseas, you get none.
Yeah. You go overseas, you get none.
0.
And yet you get hurt.
Done.
Sorry, you're a tear off.
You're done, and you don't get. And nobody's giving you any insurance. Nobody's giving you any medical, helping medical field, fees or anything like that. Just done, and we're gonna wait till you to come back so that you can give us more money.
Yeah. And they treat the riders as a tear off.
Yeah, that's it's sad, and I can't help the way it is, and I can't help by telling the truth. And that's all it is the truth. I'm not making anything up. I'm not blowing anything up.
Nope.
I'm not pointing fingers, accusing anything. Just telling the truth because I give a shit. And I always have, and I think everybody in the sport knows that. And I have been willing to say the things that I need to say or want to say, knowing that I'll get a lot of backlash or a lot of people, calling me crazy or calling me this or calling me that or, not allowing me to have opportunities and places in the sport. Hey, I can go to bed at night, man. I can go to bed at night.
Yeah, you sleep with the most important person in the argument here, which is you.
Yeah.
And if you can sleep with you, that's the most important thing.
And, because I'm a giving person, man. When I do something 100%. And when I'm involved with somebody, I give my shirt off my back. Yeah. Even if I have an argument or a whatever, even with Cooksey. If he said, hey, Ryno, let's talk and let's hash this out. It'd take 2 seconds to hash it out. And boom, hey, I'll buy you dinner, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll buy you dinner. I don't hold grudges. It's just for me, I have such a big heart and I'm so empathic that I can't help but give everything that I have to something. And sometimes that comes across in a way that people might think that it's out of whack or that I'm taking a dig at them. But damn it, man. Damn it. You know what I mean? After 40 years of putting your life into something, you should be able to have something to say.
100%. You should be able to say what's on your mind, and you also need to have the honesty to call BS on it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That is.
We have just smoked through Moto 1. We will be back with Moto 2 in
49. Moto number 2, Big 49, Ryan Hughes, burning tires right now, warming them up.
I have to say, kicking ass, taking names last Moto.
Yeah, I kick ass, but I don't really care to take your name.
I know, but I'm just saying,
it's all right.
You
don't care I don't care what your name is. I just want to kick your ass.
Just kicking ass.
I just want to kick your ass. Yeah.
So with this season of Supercross happening, and we all think that things are going to be a little bit different, I wanted to ask you some questions about the CAFE standards in Europe, because what I'm hearing is all of the European manufacturers are now retooling for some level of e-bike or something.
Oh yeah.
So my question to you is do you see that trend happening in the United States, and do you see our sanctioning bodies moving up their view of e-bikes versus,
I don't know. I think in Europe they have more. The countries are smaller. They can make more of a presence in their country, with like crouching down on things.
Yep.
Europe is a little bit more.
Yeah.
America is wild, wild west, man. Billy the Kid shit. It just really is.
Yeah.
It really is, you know? And so I think with Europe, I see that trend would probably be more that way because you see like Formula One going to, you know, like clean fuels, all these different things in their gasoline by time 2030 or whatever. There's going to be zero emission type of thing. So they're almost taking it too far. It's for what?
Yeah.
For what? Well, you're going to cut down on one race a week is going to really make a difference. I mean, the only thing that I could think that, yeah, you could maybe put races in better areas, better locations, because there's no noise. But man, have you ever listened to an e-bike going through the whoops?
It sounds like a blender.
No, it sounds like someone's having sex, man. Happy, happy. No, serious, man. I was watching the arena cross thing, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, is someone fucking? Or I was like, oh, the dude's going through the whoops.
Just go through the whoops.
So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to take a while for the America to do that because what electric anything do we have in America? I mean, not car-wise, but sport-wise.
Yeah, we don't.
Nothing.
No.
Zero.
Other than, hold on here.
Okay.
You get 5 or 6 tequilas. You and I go down to the indoor go-kart track, which is
Different
all
story.
e-go-karts.
Yeah.
And that can be a lot of fun.
That could be a lot of fun. It could be dangerous and, you know, could be bloody. But, yeah, but I'm saying, you know, like Europe has, I think, a few different ones. They have MotoGP has e-bikes, Formula E, like Formula 1, but Formula E. So there's kind of almost more movement there. America, just like I say, I think it's just so wild, wild west that, yeah, there's people that like them, but is there people that are going to really go watch them?
Well, I'm grateful because apparently with this whole change politically for the next 4 years, they've said that all the cafe standards in the United States are getting rolled back, and we're staying with motors.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
staying on the fuel.
I mean, they're you know, their idea that cows farting or eating grass are causing emissions. I mean, are you guys kidding me? But this whole climate change, this whole thing has been going on for years. Yeah, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened except you getting taxed more on everything.
Yep.
That's it. That is it.
That
is it. We're going to scare you by the world coming to an end, and the ice caps are melting, and you're going to be flooded out, and there's going to be famine and this. And so we're scaring you to death. So then you're willing to pay that tax. And willing to pay that tax. And willing to pay that tax. And for nothing.
Look where all these big political leaders who espouse all this crap, look where they wind up moving. Oh yeah, the beach, the place that's supposed to flood.
Yeah, the beach, and what are they? And then where they flying there? Their own damn jets.
In their own jets.
You know what I mean? Getting out in their own gas cars.
Yes.
Right.
And the oceans haven't lifted 1 millimeter.
Not even a millimeter. Not even close. You know, it's like, yeah, it's insanity to me for people to jump on that bandwagon when, you know, there's no proof to it. There's no proof to it. Go back, even if it's a hot day here. Well, that day may have got broken, but the record was from 1960.
Yeah.
So how can you say, you know, from 1960 or whatever the hell it was, that it was this hot? It's been this hot for a long time.
And the fact that our human lives are so short.
Yeah, you're never going to see it.
You're never going to see it.
You're never going to be affected by it.
You're never going to be affected by it.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 years is nothing geologically.
No,
the Earth,
that's not even a blink of an eye.
Not even a blink of an eye for the Earth. It's like, 100 years.
And all these things, you know, it's just like all these things that are happening in our evolutional time scale, like processed foods, you know, farming, all these different things is not even a blink of an eye. It happened 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago is nothing in you know, an existence of 3-point-something billion years. They say that humanity's kind of somewhat been around, right?
Yeah.
Depends on what book you read. Could be 6,000 years. Or it could be 6 billion years. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And but I don't know. It's just hard for me to jump on that bandwagon when you see how the whole game is played. By you work all week, we're gonna take 40% out of your check before it even comes to your house. Then when you take your family out, we're gonna charge you sales tax.
Yep. On
your food. We're gonna tax you for the money that you spent. We're gonna tax you on living in this state. We're gonna tax you for the, you know, and by time you're done, you're getting. It's insanity.
It's 80% taxes.
It's how much you're getting taxed. That's why nobody has any money, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's crazy to me. So
It's 100%. You're hitting all the right buttons on that. So my question for you is, we talked about this, I think, last show, but kickstart or e-start for you for the rest of your existence on the dirt bikes? Because I know you're going back to Europe, and I know you're going to be going next year back to Italy.
yeah, I mean, definitely electric start because I don't want to put my leg up that far.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean? I don't have to put my leg up that far.
You mentioned last show that they put you on an older bike. You got to ride an older bike.
Yeah, I rode a 2000, had a Kickstarter, and that was pretty tough. I almost took a nap after I kickstarted it.
Okay, got it.
No. It's just, yeah. I mean, one thing, technology to make things, more easier that way, cool. But, you got to be careful what you do. If you bring in electric, you're going to take out something that's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's why Formula E is not known anywhere. It's not. It's not known anywhere.
Yeah.
I tell people, they're like, Formula E?
I know Formula One.
They never heard of it. But Formula One's trying to maybe go back to louder engines and this and that because that's what brings the fans, man.
Yeah.
That's what brings the fans.
The roar of the engine's part of the magic.
It's part of the game. You know what I mean? And so I don't know why people they think they want to take that away. For what? For what? You're not even making. If you want to make a dent, then go to the freeways. Yeah. Go to go to the cities. Go to the bus stations. Go to the airplanes. Go to something. Not one little event that happens in this little stadium with maybe 80 motorcycles.
Well, I was going to say, with motorcycles also, we've just had a conversation, I think, a show ago about clutch and how the clutch is so important to racing. And that's part of the fascination of, is a rider going to have the motor skills to time his clutching and to operate his gas properly and his gearing properly to stay. That's part of racing. It's part of the human element of man interacting with the machine on the track.
Yeah.
And when you just give a guy a throttle, no clutch, no gears, no nothing, does that take away from some of the activity of racing?
Yeah, I mean,
or does it just make him better at skills of just basically, concentrating on,
Yeah, I mean, I think, it makes it easier. It makes it easy. You don't have to have so many, motor control, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you can even just in these e-bikes, just have brake and brake.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to do shit with your feet. So, but for all four extremities to be doing different things at the same time while you're riding this 220-pound motorcycle that has 60 horsepower, riding a track that is developing lap after lap, meaning it's alive, right? With 20 to 40 other riders, with all these jumps and variables, heat, mud, sand, all this, blurred vision, outside heat, full head-to-toe gear,
Fans.
ultimate consequences, death.
Yep.
Well, that's a lot. There's no sport that can say all that stuff.
No.
That can bring all that in.
No.
And you're riding for 30 minutes, and you're riding for 20 minutes, and your heart rate's over 200. There's no other sport that can compare to that level of athleticism, the ability or whatever. But so when you take a couple of these things out, the other things don't go away. But the heat of the motorcycle and then all four extremities being used goes away.
Yeah.
That's it. But you still have all the other variables. You know what I mean? So you're making it a little bit easier, but you're not making it like where it's night and day difference.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm more of a fan of the fact that being able to time, because granted, I've never raced at your caliber or at a professional level. I've only basically raced with my friends and people around me as a kid. And I've always noticed that the kid who doesn't hit the right gear coming out of that one corner, he's going to lose.
I mean, and that's where it's at too, is being able to, because a lot of people, hold the gear out too long, so they hit the rev limiter and all these things, and the rev limiter, low gears and rough section, low gears here.
Yep. Well,
now you're kind of cutting down on the performance of the motorcycle, which is cutting down on your speed.
Yep.
You can never hit neutral with electric bike. You can never be in too high of a gear.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that's going to make it so much easier.
And that's part of the mind game.
Yeah, and to me that takes away the complexity of what we do.
If
If
you're hitting the whoop section,
it's only, it's almost like it's just like it's like this new generation of coming up of how the world's making it making it so easy for them, but really what they're doing is making it very, very, very difficult for them.
Yeah.
That they can't do it on their own. They're not going to know how to work. They're not going to know how to do these things. So if this person grows up on e-bikes and stays on e-bikes his whole life, then cool. But if he grows up on e-bikes like a 50, that's the worst thing you can do as a parent.
Yeah.
Is put your kid on an e-bike because they're going to motors soon. You're going to screw your kid up.
Teach the kid how to use clutch.
You have to have, if you're going to go motor, you're going to stay motor. You can't go from E to motor.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know what I mean? And so that's where you got to be kind of careful. Now, if there was e-bikes all the way up the scale, understand. But if you're wanting your kid to be good in the sport and you're starting them off on an e-bike, and then after that e-bike 50, 60 is now you're up to engines, oof, you're going to have to teach this kid you have to almost reteach him.
Well, we have just smoked through Moto number 2.
Moto number 2 is done, man.
But you rubbed on something that I wanted to talk about with
rub
engines.
on a few things sometimes.
Well, I'm just saying with engines, you touched on some stuff that a good friend of the radio station, Carson Brown.
Yeah.
He has a new project that I wanted to talk to you about because this sounds like a lot of fun.
Perfecto.
All right.
We'll be back. Big 49. I'm on again. Just sending messages out in between the break of motos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to set up, I got to set up tonight.
I understand.
I understand. Tonight. They're asking, hey, how you doing? I said, I went 1-1. She's like, big boy, daddy.
I get
said,
it.
Yeah, baby girl.
Well,
daddy gone 1-1.
When the whole Monster Girls trailer, first of all, I told him in the pits, I said, don't park the Big 49 trailer next to the Monster trailer.
Yeah.
It's only going to be trouble for Ryan.
Yeah, Ryno's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's a bunch of Monster Girls, you can guarantee he's going 1-1.
Exactly.
And then if he goes 1-1-1, yeah, you know what happens after that, man.
Yeah.
You need to celebrate. Daddy needs to be...
If the trailers are rocking, don't bother knocking.
Yeah, daddy needs to be, celebrated.
Exactly.
Yeah, not rewarded.
And
hey, not rewarded, celebrated.
And you remember what happened the last time this happened, and then the lawsuits came, and then
yeah, babies came popping out everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, holy
it's
shit.
Like wow.
Whoa! It was only in 2 hours.
A 2-hour event.
We've gotten sued. We're thrown in jail. Had 6 babies.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
What in the world? And we got boyfriends coming after us, husbands coming after us.
I carry a gun in the Big 49 trailer now. Just
my phone's getting blown up. Coming. When do we get daddy again? And they're like, whoa, bro.
It's insane.
Yeah, I know. So anyways,
a good friend of the radio station, Mr. Carson Brown. I like Carson a lot.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He's a good guy.
Good kid.
He's a very performance general guy. He likes to ride anything. Yep. And when I say anything, he will ride anything. I've seen him ride a 78 YZ80 as if he was riding a brand new KTM 250 over Supercross whoops.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it, and he's good at it. It's a freaking nature.
He has big talent.
Yeah.
Big talent.
Big
Surprised
talent.
he didn't make it bigger in racing. You know what I mean? But I think that for him, it's more of a mentality thing.
Yeah.
Than a mentality thing, than a skill thing, talent thing, even, confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because there's a mentality.
Yeah.
And so I think he has all the other ones. I just didn't know if he has that killer mentality, right?
I think he just loves dirt bikes. I really do. I think he's one of those guys that truly does love the sport.
Maybe doesn't care about performance, just cares about having fun. And that's
cares
beautiful.
about having
that's
fun.
Beautiful.
And so he went out and went to a bunch of garage sales, yard sales, Craigslists, whatever, and he found a pile of old dirt bikes. Yeah. I'm talking old XR100s, old XR80s, whatever. And he has a crew of guys that are apparently pretty good with a welder in the garage because a lot of these
welder and grinder and duct tape, baby.
Yeah, a lot of these old bikes are beat hard. They're ridden hard. And he put them back to life, and he sanctioned a race with a bunch of pro riders that looked like a blast with all of these old mini bikes.
Yeah.
Then they're just basically crashing and bashing, having a good time.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your take on it because you're very serious on the sport. as far as you focus on the mechanics and the seriousness and the take this seriously and this is good. And then you got a guy like Carson who's literally bringing this level of fun into it. Do you think that is bad or good?
I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
I do. The sport needs everything.
Okay.
The sport needs everything. The sport needs Carson, doing these fun things because, again, that's why everybody got into the sport, because it's damn fun.
Yeah.
And that's my thing with everybody and these kids and dad, whatever. And they say, hey, tell my kid one thing. I said, hey, have fun. Because when do you do best? Those days you have fun. So I love that. I applaud that they're bringing in fun, because the top level is so serious. Even the riders, they're not fun. They're not funny. They're not anything. They're just serious. So for Carson to be able to do that, have that idea of bringing these older bikes in, have all these riders kind of get on it, and have this entertainment for our industry is amazing. And he should have it, just like Ronnie Mack. Ronnie Mack, hey man, he has his spot, and it needs to be there. It needs to be there, because again, the sport will become too dry and too boring if you're only going off what the top guys are giving you, because they're so serious, and you can't knock them because they have to be serious.
Yeah.
For where they're at, what they're doing, and what they're putting themselves into every single day. So when you have these other guys bringing some fun into it, well, that's going to spark the imagination of these people. Ronnie Mack will make these other people laugh. So I think it's great. I applaud anybody that brings positivity into the sport, or entertainment into the sport, or fun into the sport. I applaud them all. You know what I mean? There's a place for everybody. There's a place for everybody except the greedies.
Yeah.
I don't know there's much place for that. And but doing that, we used to do that too with Jeff Stanton.
Okay.
So Jeff Stanton this is a different thing. Jeff Stanton, of course, in Michigan, they have a bunch of flat fields, right?
Yep.
So he would go to the local junkyard.
Yep.
And pick out probably 8 cars.
Okay.
I want that one, that one, and we would buy them.
Yep.
Pay for them. And then they'd fix them up, whatever, and then we'd have a round crash up derby. Whoa, 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 bam, 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 just going. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just going. And so we'd get done until the last car was,
Destroyed.
sputtering, and it was done. Then the guy from the junkyard would come back by and pick them up, and then be able to sell them or take the parts off them. So it was a win-win for him.
You had fun.
But dude, we had so much fun.
Fun.
So much fun. I mean, that was back in the day when cars weren't so expensive, because I wanted to do that now here in California. But Jesus, man, you would you'd go broke probably just doing that nowadays.
It's totally expensive. So you did something very, very fun, and you brushed on it a couple shows ago, but I wanted to mention it again about going to Europe, and you're going to kind of, I guess you're a liaison to their motocross, what they're doing. It's on a vet track of some sorts.
Yeah, just they have some events each year that bring in the kind of the legends, I guess.
Yeah. And
I did make a good footprint in Europe, racing all those years, over there, or in the GPs. And just my mentality and my personality seems to really work with like the European people.
Okay.
They like more of a unique person, I guess. More of
so
a
this last year
I went twice, and it was really just just to have fun, just to meet fans, see old friends, meet new people, ride around, have some fun, race with the guys I used to ride and race with, or also ride and race with people that used to or that watched you and looked up to you but never got to that level. Everything's free, everything's paid for, everything's this. So yeah, it's just a fun thing, not to get anything out of it except.
So they had you on a track, right? You're riding.
Yeah. We rode Majora. Rode Majora, and then we rode this other track, just outside of Ryno.
And they had you on a 2025 450.
The last one was on 25 450. The first one was on a 2000 Honda 250.
Okay.
Two-stroke. Yeah. So.
When are they going to put you and all these other riders on 80s?
On 80s? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess they could.
No, I'm just saying, like, to me, that would be funny and fun, and you guys would have fun. Speaking of Carson, taking it full circle, him and Ken Roxon did a video together where they were both on an RM85 ripping on the track, like just wringing its little neck.
Yeah.
And it looked like so much fun. I've never, by the way, I normally watch Ken, and I don't think Ken's, this is me projecting, I don't think Ken's having fun. When I saw him that day on that 85 with Carson, he was having fun.
Yeah. Well, again, that's the thing is we all have fun doing what we do, and he has fun doing what he does, or he wouldn't be doing it. You know, money can kind of weigh that out a little bit. But when you can put a rider, even if it's a Cooper Webb, in a situation where there's no performance, there's nothing to live up to, there's not any cameras to have to be, have to show, you would see a huge smile on the guy's face. Oh. Because that we're going back to the roots of just, dude, this is fun riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Right? There's no testing. There's no videos. It's not got to wear this gear. Got to make sure the bike looks like all this shit.
Yep.
You're gonna see him have a blast, man. You know, because we're still kids. You know, we're still big old kids.
Yeah.
You know, we know. You know, most guys never grow up. We're just big old kids, right? And so that's again, I applaud all that, man. I applaud all that.
By speaking of Cooper Webb, it's funny that you mentioned the big kid part with Cooper Webb. I remember when he was on KTM, always super serious. Yeah, always just had kind of almost a serious scowl on his face. He goes over to start Yamaha, and I met up with him down at Paula one day. Mm-hmm. Smiles from ear to ear, and just a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some inner dynamics with the team.
Yeah.
You know, if KTM is more European, you know, DeCoster, you know, all that stuff. Maybe he's with the teammate he didn't care for. Maybe he wasn't happy with the bike. There was
a little bit of that in the end of his career.
Maybe he's out in California more.
Yeah.
You know, so this one more with the people that he likes. Maybe he likes the bike better. Maybe he's cooler with the teammates. Maybe he's back east more. So there's a lot of things that could be. Or he just realized that, hey, man, I need to have more fun.
Yeah.
I can't be so serious because when I'm so serious, I take this flare out. I take this little bit of speed out from me. I take this little bit of creativity out from me because I'm starting to become stale because everything's so serious. And that's where I feel I made a mistake, is that I made my career so serious where Jeff, Jeremy, and this were having a little bit more fun and maybe a little bit more relaxed.
So
if that makes sense.
Right now, if it's you, Jeff, Jeremy on 85s, and let's just say we're going to put you on the vet track at Glen Helen.
Yeah.
Who's taking who?
When's this race? Like tomorrow or like in like?
I'll give you 3 weeks to train.
Me.
You?
Yeah.
You're gonna take them all out?
Oh yeah.
I can just see Ryan out there every day, like on an 85, just wringing its little neck.
Ripping, baby. It's training.
Just ripping it out. We cleared Moto 3. We are done. This has been the last show of the year. Let's clear 2024. New Year's. What's your New Year's resolution for 2025?
I don't have them.
Okay.
My resolution comes every day.
Have fun.
I don't have to wait for this certain day. I make adjustments every day.
All right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, New Year's resolution is a little bit of kind of weakness. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting for this day? Why are you waiting for this new year?
I'll be honest with you.
Why don't you
I think a lot of people bookend it. I think a lot of people they get in a situation where they're looking at
but the thing is that almost puts more pressure on you.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Okay.
And that's why you see the gyms fill up, the yoga studios fill up, all these things fill up. A month later, it's back to normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like New Year's resolution is like putting more pressure on yourself. Now you have to, need to, instead of just want to.
All right. Then my resolution this year for 2025, if you're not going to make one, mine is
I'll make one.
I want to see a grudge race with you, Jeremy, and Jeff on a vet track with 85s.
All right, make it happen, everybody. My New Year's resolution is just to get my voice out there more.
Okay, will do. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, people.